Hello everyone, MCQ practice series of Drishti IAS. So today we are going to discuss the set 10 of the MCQ practice series of Drishti IAS. I hope that you liked the previous ones, and this whole session would be based on the medieval India, medieval period. So be careful before understanding this thing. Coming to the first question, which of the following is false with reference to the polity of the Sangam period? Hereditary monarchy was prevalent in this era. The concept of Chakravarti Raja was unknown in contemporary text. The power of the king was controlled by 5 councils. None of these. And the answer would be the B. Coming to the explanation, the governing system during the Sangam period was monarchical and hereditary. Monarchical means that there should be the only one king, unlike the democracy where the kings would be not just kings. We don't have kings in democratic system. We have the representative of the people like PM and president, but in monarchy there would be a king and the hereditary system would be followed. It means that king's son will consider as a king for the another term. So this is called as a monarchy and hereditary system, and there will be the monarch of one person in which the power of the king was supreme. Chakravarti king has been discussed in the Sangam period text Purnanuri. So you should remember the name of this text because this text belong to the Sangam period, and many times they can also ask questions like that. This particular text belong to the which period? So it is the Sangam period. To control the autocracy of the king, 5 councils are formed. The first council is a minister, amaichar or amaichar, commander, sonapatiyar, informer, orar, priest, purohitar, ambassador, dattar. So you must know these 5 councils which were formed in the Sangam period. Coming to the next one. With reference to the Indian history, who of the following were known as Kula Dharan? Arab merchants, Qalandars, Persian calligraphists, Sayyid and Sayyids. The answer would be the D. The Sayyids were claimed to be descended from the Prophet through his daughter Fatima. So you must know these kind of things, this kind of anthropological aspect. They commanded special respect in the Muslim society. Taimur protected the life of the Sayyids during his invasion in India, although his policy was one of the general slaughter. Sayyid, accused of misappropriating state revenues, was released by Sikandar Lodi and was allowed to keep his ill-gotten gains. The Sayyid used to put on a pointed cap kullah, and they were known as Kulah Dharan. So Kulah Dharan is a pointed cap which has been worn by the Sayyids, and Sayyids are considered as a descendants of the Prophet's daughter Fatima. Coming to the next one. Consider the following statement. In the revenue administration of Delhi Sultanate, the in charge of revenue collection was called Amil. The Ikta system of Delhi Sultans was an ancient indigenous institution. The office of Mir Baksi came to existence during the reign of Khalji Sultans of Delhi. Which of the above statements are correct? Here they are asking the correct statement, so you must read the instruction of the question. One only, 1 and 2 only 3, 1, 2 and 3. The answer would be the 1 only. So in the revenue administration of Delhi Sultanate, the in charge of revenue collection was called as Amil. So Amil is related to revenue collection. Ikta is not an ancient indigenous institution, but it was an institution developed under the Delhi Sultanate. So that's why the statement 2 is wrong. Ikta was first distributed in India by Muhammad Ghori. So this is also important fact that who initiated Ikta system. So it was Muhammad Ghori. He made Qutbuddin Aibak the Iqtadar of Hansi, but the credit for giving a systematic form to Ikta is given to Iltutmish only. It is noteworthy that Ikta was a land area which was given to military and civilian officials, mainly soldiers, for the administrative operation of that area. Under no circumstances could the Iqtadar be the owner of that piece of land. They could collect taxes only on the produce. Big Iqtadars were also called Mukta, Wali, and Malik. So, when in examination, the question will be asked that who are the big Iqtadars? So, they are the Mukta, Wali, and Malik. The office of Mir Baksi came into existence not during the reign of Khalji Sultans of Delhi but during the Mughal period. During the Sultanate period, Diwane Ariz was the head of the military department. So, Diwane Ariz is related to the military department. So, that's why the statement 3 is wrong. Therefore, the option A is the correct answer. Coming to the next one. With reference to the economic history of medieval India, what does the term Arghatta denote? Bonded labor, land grants made to the military officers, water wheel used in the irrigation of land, wasteland converted to cultivated land. And the answer would be the C, water wheel used in the irrigation of land. Arghatta was a method of irrigation of agricultural land in medieval India. So you must remember that Arghatta was a method of irrigation in medieval India. Ancient and medieval Indian scientists made extraordinary advances in the fields of astronomy, mathematics, and medicines. After the arrival of Turks, new technologies were introduced such as the paper, spinning wheel, iron stirrup, and other equipments. Mughal Emperor Babur had listed two Indian instruments, one of which was a time counting device and the other was an irrigation device. In irrigation equipment, two types of irrigation equipments are described. The first one is known as Sakia or Arhat or Rahat, and the second one is Hekli. So these are the irrigation equipments. Coming to the next one. Who among the following founded a new city on the southern bank of a tributary of Krishna river and took upon himself the responsibility of the ruling his nephew kingdom as a representative of the deity who was believed to rule over all the land south of the Krishna river? And your options are Amogh Varsh 1, Ballal 2, Harihar 1 and Pratap Rudra 2nd. The answer would be the Harihar one, because here you can get the hints in the question. Here they are discussing about the Krishna river southern bank. So you might be able to know the answer very clearly. Coming to the explanation part, Harihar 1, 1336 to 56 AD established the Vijayanagar state on the southern bank of the Tungbhadra, a tributary of Krishna river. He made Anegundi his first capital. Later made Vijayanagar his capital. The present name of Vijayanagar is Hampi. Harihar I was inspired by his brother Buka and Guru Vidyaranayana and Sayana. So you must know the name of the brothers of the Harihar, because whenever we talk about the Vijayanagar Empire, we always discuss about the Harihar and Buka, the famous scholars of the Vedas, to establish the city of Vijayanagar on the southern bank of Tungbhadra. Harihar was the son of Bhawan Sangam. Amogh Varsh was the son of Rashtrakuta ruler Govind III, who made Manikhet his capital. He himself composed the famous book Kavi Rajmarg in Kannada language. So, who has written the Kavi Rajmarg? So, it is written by the Amogh Varsh. Veer Vallal II was a glorious ruler of Hoysala dynasty who conquered the Yadavas of Devgiri and Pandyas of Madurai, Kalchuris of South and Western Chalukyas. Pratap Rudra II was the last ruler of Kakatiya dynasty. After victory over Varangal by Ghyasuddin Tughlaq's commander, Pratap Rudra was arrested and sent to Delhi, where he committed suicide. So here you must know that which ruler belonged to which dynasty. So we have this Harihar I, who has established the Vijayanagar Empire. Then we have this Amogh Varsh, who was the ruler of Rashtrakuta dynasty. Then we have Veer Vallal, who was the ruler of Hoysala dynasty. Then we have Pratap Rudra II, who was the ruler of Kakatiya dynasty. Coming to the next one. Statement A, which is assertion, and the statement 2, which is the reason. Alauddin had established an intelligence system. Reason, he banned the festivals and feasts of the Amirs. In the recent slides, we had discussed about the role of Amirs. In the comment section, you have to tell me that what is the role of Amirs. So here, Alauddin had established an intelligence system. He banned the festivals and feast of the Amirs. So what you have to find out here, that they are asking the assertion and reason. So this one is the assertion and this one is the reason. So whenever the question of this type will come, you have to always look that whether this thing is followed by this thing or not, or it is a result of this thing or not. It means that any events happen, you must know the reason that this particular event happened because of this reason or not. So your assertions and reasons are both A and R are correct and R is a correct explanation of A. Both A and R are correct and R is not correct explanation of A. A is correct, R is incorrect, A is incorrect, R is correct, and the answer would be the B, because these both facts are right, but the reason is not what assertion is. So it means that this following thing is not the reason or not the followed by this particular thing. Coming to the explanation one, Alauddin had established an intelligence system to know the conspiracies of the Amirs. He made many rules to prevent the Amirs from conspiring against him. Organizing feast and festival was prohibited for them, hence both these statements are correct, but reason does not explain statement A. So that's why B is the correct answer. Coming to the next one, consider the following statement. Alauddin established authority from Malwa, Gujarat in the north to Madurai in the south. The new phase of territorial expansion that he started was taken to its peak by Muhammad Tughlaq, and the answer would be the C. So, during his reign, Alauddin Khilji captured the Malwa, Gujarat, subjugated most of the kings in Rajasthan and established his authority up to Madurai in the south. The new phase of territorial expansion that he started was brought to its final culmination by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Hence, the statement 2 is the correct. Therefore, the option C is the correct answer. Coming to the 8th one, chronologically arrange the Muhammad bin Tughlaq experiment. So, transfer of capital, taxation, token currency, Khorasan campaign, taxation, transfer of capital, token currency, Khorasan campaign. Token currency Khorasan campaign, taxation, transfer of capital, token currency, transfer of capital, taxation in Khorasan campaign, and the answer would be the B. So what experiment he did first? Muhammad bin Tughlaq did many experiments and showed keen interest in agriculture. In its first experiment, he increased the taxation of the regions of Doab, which were probably the half the yield. Under the second experiment, the capital Delhi was shifted to Devgiri, and Devgiri was named as Daulatabad by Tughlaq. The third experiment was to introduce the token currency, which was probably made of copper and brass, whose value was equal to the silver tanka. He got this inspiration from China and Iran. The fourth experiment was the Khorasan campaign. For this campaign, Tughlaq even gave 1 year's advance salary to his soldiers. This campaign was led by the Khusro Malik. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq is known for his experiments. But what had happened that many people has said that his experiment failed without planning and execution. So he planned a very good things which is a very good for the polity and economy. But the execution was not right, the timing was not right. So that's why his good experiments also failed because of lack of execution, and he had followed various system which has been ditched by his own nobles. So coming to the next one, which of the following statement is are correct with reference to Delhi Sultanate? Military commanders were appointed as governors of territories and were assigned land to manage. This land was called Ikta and its bearer was called Mukti. So here both the statements are correct. The Khilji and Tughlaq empires appointed military commanders as governors over territories of various sizes. These areas were called Ikta and their bearer was called Iktadar or Mukti. The job of these Iktadar was to lead military operation and maintain law and order in these areas. Revenue was collected in the form of salaries by Iktadars in return of their military services. So these are the jobs of Iqtidars. With this revenue, they also paid their soldiers. Control over the Iqtas was most effective if their appointment was not hereditary or if they were assigned Iqta for a short period of time. These stringent conditions of service were strictly enforced during the rule of Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Accountants were appointed by the state to investigate the revenue collected by the Iqtas. Special care was taken that Iqta collected only the taxes prescribed by the state, maintained the required number of soldiers. So these are the collective features of the Iqtas. Coming to the next one. Which one of the following is not a characteristic of the Iqta system? So in the previous slide, we had studied about the system. Iqta was a revenue collection system. Siyasatnama was the source of information for Iqta system. Revenue from Iqta was directly deposited in Sultan's account. Mukti was supported to maintain troops out of the revenue collected from Iqta, and the answer would be the C. So we'll look how. The literal meaning of Iqta is transferable rent ordinance. The first definition of Iqta was given in Siyasatnama written by Nizam al-Mulk Tusi. So who has written Siyasatnama? So it is written by Nizam al-Mulk Tusi. Iqta was a land area which was given to military and civilian officials for the administrative operation of that area. Under the circumstances of that time, this was the unique experiment to stop the tendency to rebel administrative operation in a large area of Sultanate and obtain revenue which was new to India but had become popular in Central Asia. Under no circumstances could the Iqtidar be the owner of that land. They could be the masters of the enjoyment of the produce. Iqta was the first distributed in India by Muhammad Ghori. We already had discussed this fact. He made Qutbuddin Aibak the Iqtidar of Hansi. So Qutbuddin Aibak was Iqtidar of the Hansi, but the credit for giving a systematic form to the Iqta is given to the Iltutmish. So Muhammad Ghori introduced it, and then Qutbuddin Aibak Iqtidar of the Hansi, but it has been properly defined and shaped by the Iltutmish. Further, various changes were made in Iqta's system by Balban, Alauddin Khilji, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Tughlaq and Sikandar Lodi. So they all had followed the Iqta system and they modify according to themselves and then implemented the Iqta system. Then we have the practice question. Consider the following statement with reference to the tax structure of Delhi Sultanate. Alauddin Khilji had withdrawn the rights to impose taxes from the local chieftains. The taxes imposed on farming were called kharaj. It was about 50% of the farmer's production. There were three types of taxes: taxes on agriculture and taxes on cattle and houses. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none. So you have to answer this in the comment section. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries due to this session, kindly ask in the comment section and keep practicing, keep studying for your examination. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.